In a dusty village tucked between dry fields and lazy hills lived a man named Ram. Not much to say about him at first glance. Thin, sunburned, wore the same faded shirt for years, didn't talk much, didn't drink tea with the gossiping uncles at the stall. But every morning, without fail, Ram would take a rusted pickaxe, sling it over his shoulder, and walk toward the mountain. Not the temple hill or the small mound near the pond. Number the big one, the one even birds flew around instead of over. Jagged, silent, ancient. A wall of stone that split the region in two. Ram walked straight to the foot of that mountain and started swinging. Talk, talk, talk. That sound became his signature. Kids would giggle, mimicking him. Look, there goes Mountain Uncle again. Shopkeepers smirked, trying to dig his own grave, that one. And still he swung. Some days the sun roasted him till his skin peeled. Some days the rain turned the ground to slush and his feet sank deep. But he didn't stop. One swing, then another, like a man with nowhere else to go. They said he was mad, but they didn't know the whole story. Years ago, his wife, sweet Mina, had gone into labor. Complications. They needed to get to the hospital on the other side of the mountain. The only road wound around the range, nearly 3 hours long. She died halfway there. That night, Ram sat beside the mountain, staring up at it with empty eyes. He screams and cries. He said, "You took her." Then he went home. The next morning, he sharpened his old pickaxe and walked back. People thought it was grief, a phase, a week, maybe two. But the weeks become months, then years. At first, nothing changed. The stone laughed at him in silence, but slowly, chips fell. A crack formed, then a narrow path. Villagers began noticing. A boy from the village once asked, "Uncle, what are you doing?" Ram wiped sweat from his forehead, smiled, and said, "Making sure no one else loses someone like I did." The boy didn't fully understand, but he stopped laughing. Time passed. Seasons changed like clothes. Ram aged. His hands grew rougher, back more bent, but his swing stayed steady. Some days he was alone. Some days a kid would help for an hour. Sometimes a traveler would stop, offer him a banana, and ask questions. "Why don't you get a machine?" He'd shrug. Machines don't work when hearts don't care. One reporter came from the city, took pictures, scribbled notes, asked him, "Aren't you angry at the government? At fate?" Ram looked at the sky and said, "What's the point of shouting at the clouds? Better to build a roof." His words started spreading. Stories in newspapers, interviews on radios, the man who's moving a mountain. But none of it mattered to Ram. He didn't care for fame. He cared for that road. 17 years in, something happened. A tractor carrying bricks to a nearby village tipped over, trying to take the old winding road. The driver bled out. That night, a group of villagers came to Ram with tools in hand. No speeches, no drama. Just this. "We're sorry we laughed. Let us help now." And they did. With hands blistered and backs sore, they worked beside him. Young, old, women, even school kids on holidays. In the 22nd year it was done. A narrow road carved through the mountain, wide enough for an ambulance, flat enough for carts, safe enough for bare feet. The village didn't throw a celebration. Ram wouldn't have liked that. But one evening an ambulance passed through the path carrying a woman in labor. A few hours later, a baby girl was born. They named her Mina. Ram didn't say anything, just stood quietly under the banyan tree, looking at the mountain with eyes that shimmered. Someone asked, "Uncle, how did you do it?" "You really moved a mountain." He smiled. "Number. The mountain just gave up before I did."